Hello and welcome to the British Gaming Podcast. It is the 10th of November 2015. I'm your host Sam. With me as always is Richie.
Hello.
Hiya. And before we begin, we've got a couple of announcements with regards to changes to the podcast and its format. So essentially, we are four full-grown adults with jobs, families, so on and so forth. Terry's now back at uni. Pete works shifts, so we can't guarantee that all of us will be available for every podcast. I'm still going to be on pretty much every week as the main host, but whether it's Richie, Terry, Pete, or all of them with me could change on a week-by-week basis, depending on what's going on in their daily lives, which of course takes priority. Would you say that pretty much sums it up, or?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's fair to say that we all enjoy doing it every week, but
Mm.
it's getting to the point that I'm starting to neglect real life things that at some point I'm going to have to take care of. So as much
Yeah,
as I enjoy doing it, unfortunately, there are real life commitments as well. But we'll
true.
do what we can. I'll be on as often as I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also why this week it is just me and Richie. So there may be weeks where it's just me and Terry. And I should probably also highlight that there's a medical issue for me that's being looked into at the moment, which could result in surgery. And if it results in surgery, at that point, I will be out of action, laid up in bed for anything between 2 and 6 weeks. So if that happens, then Richie, Terry, Pete will likely just carry on each week without me until I'm recovered. Um, then they've got,
Yeah, we'll make it
yeah,
work.
yeah, you've got the keys to the YouTube channel and everything else. You can upload and stuff without me. It's fine. Right. Let's have a look at the topic list before we do anything else. So that obviously, question of the week, what we've been playing, only in reverse order. We've got the Nintendo PlayStation that turned up a few weeks ago has now been tested. Game have royally fucked up pre-orders for the Pip-Boy edition of Fallout 4. The UK government has pledged fast internet for all of the UK by 2020. Yeah, more a delay tactic than anything, but we'll get to that.
I don't think I'll need to say anything on that one. I think you'll take care of that.
And that might be a rant. I'll warn you ahead of time. Yeah. Konami are apparently providing a Metal Gear themed prosthetic for an amputeed gamer. And if you're modding GTA 5, then you could have private investigators turn up on your doorstep. And then we'll wrap up with fan questions of the week, of which I believe there are one this week, so quite a quiet week for that. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute and let Richie tell me what he's been playing this week.
I haven't been playing a whole lot in the last week, to be honest. A lot of the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, because
Right.
obviously that came out recently. I really wish I could say I've been playing Fallout 4, but I haven't purchased it yet on the sole basis that I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford it because in the next couple of weeks, I've got quite a few things going on including my girlfriend's birthday, which is never a cheap affair.
For a minute
And
there,
I
I
like
thought
to
you were
go.
going to say the C word. I was going to have to find a way to punch you through the internet.
No, not at all. I've got to obviously finance that. It's not cheap because I like to spoil her where possible because she deserves it. She puts up enough stuff with me,
Mm,
so I think it's only fair that she gets something back every so often. But apart from that, I've been playing quite a lot of Crossy Road again, which I talked about last week, a little mobile game, which is
yeah.
where animals try and cross the road. Me and my little sister, the younger one, she's 11,
Mm,
we've got a competition going on at the moment, and we keep outdoing each other. Who can get
yeah.
the furthest? At the moment, she holds the record with I think it's 184.
So it still
Um,
scares
and,
me that your other sister, like, I still remember her as, like, a 1-year-old, 2-year-old in my mind. So to see her posting on Facebook and that about going out drinking with her friends and stuff, still just, I find that weird.
yeah, it'll probably blow your mind to hear then that she also has her own place with her boyfriend. She
Oh,
rents
bloody
somewhere.
hell.
Yeah, I've been around there. It's a nice little place. It's just a little student accommodation, but it's a nice little place. Yeah, she is proper grown up.
Jesus.
But
Right,
you'll
okay.
find out. You'll see her in January. She's coming with me to Supersonic like last year, so
Well,
you'll find out just how much more.
I saw her
Yeah, I mean, you saw her
January
last
just
year, didn't you?
gone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. That's true. Which is even more grown up since then. So,
bloody hell.
but yeah,
Anyway,
that's about
sorry,
it.
I interrupted you when you were talking about Crossy Roads.
No, I was just saying I had a little competition. I had the record at 170 something for a while, and then she just sent me a screenshot of her because she's got a phone now. Like she's got a little mobile phone. It doesn't work properly much. Like she's only got data when she's on Wi-Fi at home. She doesn't
Oh,
have data
right.
on her pay-as-you-go SIM.
Yeah.
It's more for sort of a phone she can use when in case she needs to ring someone when she's at school. But
Emergencies.
yeah, but she
Yeah.
doesn't use it for that purpose at all.
No, kids never do.
No, it's
No.
my old phone as well. It's the HTC M7, which I had before the one I've got now, which is the M8. So
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say, oh, it's my old Nokia 3210.
I don't even know. I probably still have got one of them somewhere, to be honest.
Not only do you still have it, the battery is still charged.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's
Yeah.
probably sat in a box somewhere, and everything else in the box has gone mouldy, but the phone's fine.
Just hanging on to one bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet you can still get chargers for it on eBay and stuff.
Oh, of course you can, yeah. Snake, best game ever, and that was a game where if a friend showed you a screenshot of their high score, or rather just showed you the physical phone, that'd be it. It was on, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was never very good at Snake, to be honest.
no. I've
I'm much better at Crossy Road than I ever was at Snake.
that's the start done. You can do
Yeah.
Frogger. Well done.
Yeah. Very true.
Over on this end, I've been playing some more Batman Arkham Origins.
Oh,
Plug,
yeah,
plug.
Batman. I forgot. I told you I'd play that.
You
Arkham
didn't
Asylum.
play it, did you?
I haven't played it, no, otherwise I'd have mentioned it.
You see, the thing is, I'm not surprised because I have absolutely zero faith in you when it comes to these things.
It's completely justified that you have no faith as well.
I've known you for 22 years, and 90% of the time when I ask you to do something, you do not do it.
Don't
This
take it
is.
personally. It's not just you.
No, I know.
I don't do things anyone asks me to do.
I know. This is
That's why I owe
surprisingly.
Sophie a lot of birthday presents.
This is surprisingly consistent for you. I think we've just got it to the point now where this has become habitual for you, and that's why you've become reliable.
It's the most consistent thing I do.
Oh, it
You need
is, yeah.
something done, don't ask me.
No. I'm actually scared that January will roll round. It'll be the Friday night before Western Supersonic, and I'll just be looking at my watch at home like, where the fuck are they?
No, that I have got planned. I've booked all the time off work already for next year. It's all
Okay.
sorted.
If you can find us, that'll be the telling part. That'll be a
Oh
game in
yeah,
itself.
different this time, won't it? Yeah, it'll be a different place.
Yeah, you get to see the cottage this year. Right, back on topic. So, Batman Arkham Origins. I've been doing a let's play of that. Um, Everything up to part 11 is done and uploaded, but I've decided to use the scheduling feature on YouTube. So, one part per day is going up over the next week, basically, and that'll take it up to part 11. And then actually, I'm getting through it faster than I thought. I might genuinely finish that game the next time I sit down with it. So
Nice.
I'll have beaten Arkham Origins. Actually, after Arkham Origins, I'm moving on to Arkham Asylum. That's the next game on my Let's Play list after that.
Oh, you're gonna start rubbing it in that you finish it before I do.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to beat it before you. Then you've
We'll
got
see
a
about that.
massive head start. I've played some Dead Rising 2 off the record. I'm trying to relearn that game because I haven't played it in so long. I sort of looked back at the near perfect run of Dead Rising 1 that's on my Let's Play channel, the one from 2011, and I just think it'd be kind of neat to do Dead Rising 2 off the record, just as sort of a throwback thing. So I've been playing that, trying to learn it. I actually upset the other half because you know how she hates Binding of Isaac, absolutely detests it.
Yes, you did tell me.
Yeah, she made me delete it from the PS4, but I did reinstall it to the PlayStation Vita.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
can
she.
imagine that game translates well to handhelds. I know it's out
Oh,
for
it
the
does.
3DS, and I would have bought it, but it's only on the new 3DS. You can't get it for the standard 3DS.
Well, that makes sense. It's a twin stick shooter, and you don't have a twin stick on the other one.
Well, no, but you can use the D-pad buttons to shoot. When I play, I normally use the buttons to shoot rather than
No, no,
the
I
actual
use the
stick itself.
stick.
I
Stick all the
prefer the
way.
buttons.
This is going to be like Catholics versus Protestants.
I think you're right.
um,
You're not going to prove me I'm wrong either, because I'm definitely right.
Let's just
It's not very
agree to...
often I'm right.
That's true. We'll agree to disagree. But,
Sophie will tell you that.
alright. So no, I actually played a little bit of it. I suck at it. I'm absolutely terrible at it, but she was just
The
looking at me
learning
with...
curve is huge. Don't beat yourself up over that. You
Yeah,
gotta give it a chance.
I can make it to about the third level and then I'm dead.
Yeah, Chaz, who we've had on this podcast before, has started playing again. He bought Afterbirth, I think, and
Okay.
he was playing it for the first time in probably a few months, and he was saying that he just can't get anywhere on it. I was like, just give it time. Give it
Yeah,
time.
it's gonna be like Spelunky and Super Meat Boy, you know, before you know it, you're pulling off insane shit and wondering how the hell you managed it.
A lot of it is just muscle memory because you have to kind of learn the patterns that the enemies sort of produce.
Well, yeah, but we've got that in our veins from how long have we been gaming now? I mean, that's pretty standard for us.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Also, I've been playing a game with Maya. She's been really, really cute about it, actually. We've been playing Croc Legend of the Gobos on the PS1.
Oh, nice. Is she enjoying it?
Oh, yeah. She counts the Gobos, so it's educational for her as well, in case her mother complains. Like, how many Gobos have we got now, Maya? 4. Yeah. And how many are there in the level, Maya? 6. So how many more Gobos do we need to save? 2.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. It's really cute, and the only thing that's a downside is when we finish a level and we've got everything, she says, "Yay, Daddy, we did it." And I have to turn around like, what's this we business? I did all the damn work.
I don't know.
Um,
She kept count.
yeah, true.
You might have been lost without her.
um, but I think once we finish that, we'll move on to Croc 2. Because I've never played Croc 2 and I bought it at MCM, so I'm really
I've
eager to.
played Croc 2, never finished Croc 2. Not because there's anything wrong with it. I
Mm.
don't think it's got a stick on the first one, what I did play, but it's not because I didn't enjoy it, it's just because I've never finished it. It's another one of these games I've never finished.
That's a very long list, Richie.
Oh, yes.
Oh, speaking of, me and the missus are tackling our huge JRPG backlog. So starting with Tales of Xillia. So our backlog at the moment is Tales of Xillia 2, Tales of Symphonia Chronicles HD, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD, Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, and White Knight Chronicles 1 and 2.
I
That's
didn't know
just...
any of those words you just said.
okay, just as well. But each of those you're looking at like a 60-hour RPG, and yeah, we finally figured we'd start working through them before we buy anything else.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, as for question of the week, if you could have for the rest of your life one PlayStation 1 game and only one PlayStation 1 game, what would that
Ooh.
be?
Oh, God. Only one PlayStation 1 game.
Mm-hmm. I'll
Have
give
you
you
got an
a...
answer for this?
Yeah, I'll
While
give
I
you a
think?
hand. It's... Do you want to guess my answer before I say it, actually? Let's take a stab. What do you
Trying
think
to think of PlayStation 1 games.
Fine. Original Tomb Raider.
Why did I think of that? Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah,
It's a
easily.
no-brainer.
Yeah. And
I'd
also,
probably
I've
go,
now claimed it, so...
for me, I was going to go with the first Spyro.
Yeah?
I've completed that game quite a few times. I enjoy that game a lot.
Not Spyro 2 Gateway to Glimmer? No?
No, not because anything wrong with that game either. It's a bit like Croc 2. It's just a game I didn't really have when I was younger, so I never really played it all that much. I did actually start playing through it recently
Yeah.
on an emulator
I know you've
because I
played it round
because I've
9 a
never played it
couple of
properly.
times when we were kids, but because it wasn't
Yeah,
your
but I've
game, you
never
never
played it
really...
properly.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give a close second to Resident Evil 2, by the way. That gets a close second. Um,
That's cool.
yeah. Third, Metal Gear Solid. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Very classic.
So many classics. Right, speaking of PlayStation, obviously the Nintendo PlayStation, the prototype of it, just came out of nowhere a couple of weeks ago. Everyone was like, what is this? Is this some kind of elaborate prank? What's going on? They actually booted the damn thing up. Now, how excited were you for this?
I read the article about it a few days ago when it came out, and I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting it
Okay.
basically to change the world. Is how I went into the article, because the article really bigged it up, and it wasn't that exciting. It just played a I think they just play a Nintendo game, a Super Nintendo game, or something like that on it.
Yeah, it
That was
runs
all they
Super
did.
Nintendo cartridges. There was a cartridge that came with the machine, and that's what they were really interested in, what was on that cartridge.
What?
Unfortunately, that cartridge doesn't work for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
I thought that's what I read.
Yeah, so we don't know what's on that cartridge. I don't think they've even been able to like dump a ROM from it. So
That'll happen
whatever's,
eventually.
I don't know if, for example, if the contacts have corroded or something like that, then maybe not.
Yeah, true,
It
true.
could be a case where, like, or heat damage or something like that. The data just might not be there anymore, or it could be corrupted so badly that you're never gonna fix it.
Yeah, that'd be a shame. It's always nice to find bits of history like that, and I thought it was a
Mm,
really interesting article to read, as unexciting as it actually turned out to be. It
yeah,
was pretty cool to see an old relic of history that's sort of lost to the ages. Like before they found it and all these articles came out, I'd
mm.
never heard of it. I didn't even
Really?
realize it was a thing. No, I genuinely didn't even know it was a thing.
Okay. Well, yeah, essentially they were in partnership to do it. They announced it at, I believe it was an E3, and then the day after the announcement, the deal was off. And it's conflicting reports as to who called it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say we had a bit of debate about that, didn't we, in our little
Yeah.
Facebook group? Because to me, it read the article I read made it sound like that Sony put up a deal that Nintendo just couldn't justify going with because they'd lose too much out of it.
Mm. One of the deals that I read about, and again, it's all unverified, was that Nintendo dropped Sony in favor for Philips. And then,
Yeah, I did see that as well, but I think the
yeah.
reason I saw that happening was because I think probably there was probably more going on behind the scenes that we haven't been told about. We'll never
Oh yeah,
know.
I don't know. I
There must
think
have been some bad blood going on already.
thank you for putting Taylor Swift in my head. That was the last thing that I wanted for my evening.
Oh, I like
Um,
that song. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
hate it. I
I
absolutely
would
hate
listen to it, but she's not on Spotify.
it.
So,
Fair enough.
to be fair, she's got a good reason not to be on Spotify, and I do kind of support it while using Spotify, but that's here,
Yeah,
neither here
because
nor there.
each play, the artists get like 0.00001p each time
But
their song is
if I
played.
didn't have Spotify, I'd probably pirate the music. So I'm doing a good thing.
We are getting on some tangents tonight, aren't we? Um, no, so where were we? Oh yeah, what happened behind the scenes? Um, what we do know is that Sony went, well, we've got this technology anyway. Let's go and release the PlayStation. And they just went out on their own. And I think, if Nintendo were being honest, they'd probably look back on that and are like, well, shit. Um, it's sort of like I'm in trouble if Joe ever listens to this. There was a girl I liked in college, and she became very popular on YouTube, and she was like, "Oh, you should totally cameo in some of my YouTube videos." And at the time, I said, "No, not interested. I want to concentrate on my college work, make sure I get good grades, and get into the uni course I want to get into." And she sort of spent more and more time focusing on YouTube and less time focusing on the course. In the end, she ended up moving to LA, and for a good few years, she was doing YouTube full time. Um, I couldn't help but go, damn it, I had an offer to cameo in that.
See, I know who you're talking about, and all
Yeah.
I can really say to that is, where is she now?
Which, out of respect for her, because she's still a friend, I'm not going to comment on. Um,
Well, I'll say it because I'm not her friend and I don't really know her particularly. So, and that's not a stab at her. It's not. I'm not trying to insult her in any way, but it's changed a lot since then. Because I used to watch her videos as well. I probably still am subscribed to her channel somewhere.
no, the channel isn't there anymore.
Is it not? Oh, it
No,
would
the
be if it was
original
still there.
channel got hacked and taken over, and then she started a new channel. So unless you've subscribed to the new channel,
I
no.
don't know. Probably
Yeah.
not since I never see any of her videos. So,
Yeah. But no, it's to that friend, you know who you are. I apologize, but she seems happy. I mean, she's still out there. She's
Well, no,
doing
good.
looks
I'm
like a
sure
normal
she's doing
job.
absolutely well, but it's
Yeah.
not the same as what it was then.
No, but I imagine that occasionally Nintendo look back at the potential partnership with Sony and go, I fucking missed a trick.
It does make you wonder, doesn't it? I thought about
Yeah.
that as I was reading the article. Imagine how different things could be.
Yeah.
Imagine if we'd never had like the PlayStation or the PlayStation 2.
Oh god.
And I
Revolutionary
mean, I'm
consoles,
sure the
really.
consoles would have been good, but would they have been PlayStation good? Would
No,
they
I think
really have dominated the
PlayStation
market?
PlayStation and Nintendo targeted two very different people. Like PlayStation seemed to say, right, well, the people who grew up as children on the NES or Super Nintendo, they're not children anymore. You know, they're 12, 13, they're starting to get to their teenage years. The Mega Drive took off because there is that group there who want attitude and all the rest of it. So they started focusing towards these more mature games like your Metal Gear Solids, your Resident Evils, your Tomb Raiders, although admittedly Tomb Raider did come out on the Sega Saturn first. Um, and I I don't
That'll
know,
always be
they
the true version.
oh yeah, the Saturn version is the best. But if I do a Let's Play or anything of it, I will use the PlayStation version simply because I can run that through the PS3 and get 720p footage, whereas I can
Yeah,
only get 360p footage out of the Saturn version. Um, that was a tangent again.
I'm feeling that's going to be the theme tonight.
But you know,
See,
like,
this is why I don't normally talk very much because I have a habit of derailing.
oh, it's fine, mate. Don't worry about it. But like MP3 quality music in video games, like full orchestral scores in video games, FMV, full motion video, wasn't a thing before the PlayStation, really.
No,
Um,
it's
it popularized it. It legitimized gaming to a degree, and it brought it to a new audience. Um, like,
Tell you what, just to go on another tangent here, on topic of video game music, I saw an advert on the side of my web browser when I was at work today that said there's
okay.
an orchestral Pokemon tribute thing going on in London in December. You
Yeah,
could buy tickets for it. How come I'd never heard of this?
they do these kind of things all the time. There's a couple of main ones. There's Video Games Live. They just do a bit of everything. They do like some Halo, some just bits and pieces from all over, really. Then you've got Distant Worlds, which is a Final Fantasy themed one. So they do all that, and yeah, there's now this Pokemon themed one. It's quite popular. Um,
I was really, really tempted to buy tickets, but they're like £30 each.
yeah, I do know one of the video game lives. They well, two instances that stick out. When they were doing the main Halo theme, a Master Chief cosplayer got on stage and started rocking out to an air guitar. Um,
That's very cool.
and there was another bit where they said basically you can't wave lighters in stadiums and that anymore due to health and safety being twats. And they said, so you've all got smartphones and that. Wave your smartphones with the backlight on instead of the lighters. And then they stopped mid-song to go, dude at the back row, is that a fucking laptop? Just waving a laptop back and forth.
Why has
Um,
he got a laptop?
no idea. Um, but no, like on the subject of small changes, like how different video games could have been. You think like life wise, if my friends Jenny and Craig hadn't talked me into going to my very first MCM Expo, I wouldn't have met Joe. And if I hadn't met Joe, then I probably wouldn't have moved out of Norfolk. I certainly wouldn't have two kids right now. Debatable whether I'd be in a full-time design role, which is
But
interesting.
we wouldn't have to listen to you bitch about your internet every week.
Yeah, this is very true. Uh,
Swings and roundabouts.
But that was a simple yes or no question. Seemed perfectly inconsequential. Do you want to come to Comic Con? Yes or no? I said yes, and my life changed irreversibly, and probably for the better, because I met her.
It's
Um,
funny how the smallest decisions can affect your life in the biggest way.
oh, it really is. Like, I don't know where I'm going with that. I really don't. It's
Should we get back on topic?
yeah, we should. Yeah. Um, so Nintendo PlayStation. really, really interesting. Kind of disappointing. It can only really run SNES cartridges. We're not really going to find out much more about it.
No, but it is cool. It's one of these things that'll eventually end up in like a video game museum somewhere, and
well,
we'll
that's
be
what I
able to
do
go and look at it.
respect. The guys who found it, they are saying like they wouldn't really part with it for money. If anything, it probably would go to a museum or whatnot.
As it should, yeah.
Yeah, which is cool because if that had fallen into the hands of some scalper arsehole, it would have been off in a private collection and no one would have ever heard any more about it, which I think is what we all feared would happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, speaking of disappointments, if you pre-ordered the Fallout 4 Pip-Boy edition, you may have received an email from Game saying that your pre-order has been cancelled, claiming that they couldn't take the money. A lot of people have been affected by this.
I thought this turned out to be false, unless I missed something.
Oh no, this is very real. I had to listen to a colleague of mine essentially bitch about it half the day today. But yeah, so essentially I was saying they couldn't process the payments for the pre-orders, and it seemed to affect people who were either paying through PayPal, paying through sort of a direct debit kind of thing, or alternatively people whose card details had changed because they'd had the card replaced between sort of when they placed the pre-order and when Game went to charge them. I smell a rat simply because of how large scale it is. Like, if you look at their Twitter feed and stuff, people are still very angry about it. We're on release day for Fallout 4 now, and there are still people who don't have their Pip-Boy edition Fallout 4s and don't know if they're going to get them. Which is a horrible position to be in. Obviously, they're all very excited for it. Now,
I have read, though, that the Pip-Boy itself that you do get is pretty underwhelming. Not that that detracts from the point. They should definitely supply what they've
it does
promised
look
to,
like
but
very cheap plastic from the photos. It looks quite
that's what I've read
garish.
about it, is that it's just got a few knobs you can twist on it, and apart from that, there's really nothing else to it.
Yeah, it's a bit shit.
As
Uh,
we expected, I think we talked about on a previous podcast, in fact.
yeah, because we mentioned about how cosplayers have already made their own Pip-Boys, which actually look more accurate and like they're made of better material than the promo shots for the Pip-Boy that comes with the game.
I suppose the difference is the people who are cosplaying aren't mass producing it and trying to turn a profit.
You say that, there are a bunch of people who do, sell lots and lots of like latex Batman cows and stuff. It's all unlicensed, it's all illegal as all shit, but they do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can go buy Iron Man full suits of armor if you want to. So back on topic. This isn't the first time Game have fucked up Right Royal. It's not. It also wouldn't be the first time that Game would have taken more pre-orders than they could actually provide, which is what I think might have happened behind the scenes. So they went quick, let's have a bullshit story as to why they can't have their pre-order now. So people are on callback lists. They're, waiting 2 hours in a queue to get through to a customer service representative who then puts them on a callback list, and some of them have been waiting days and still haven't had a callback. They're handling it absolutely horribly. This is why I don't use Game. I fucking hate Game.
No, I can't remember the last time I bought anything from Game. It's been a long time.
They're awful. What was ironic, though, was some guy on my Facebook going, "Oh, I miss the days when we had Game Station. They were so much better," and I just
Yeah.
commented, like, you do realise they were owned by the same parent company, right?
That may be so, but they did have a more interesting range of products, so I did enjoy going in there.
I think they were after a different clientele. Like, they just went for a different demographic altogether.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when the one we had here did close down, though.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
don't
like,
know, I
you read the
saw...
sign, and the sign was like, your nearest game station is King's Lynn, or something like that.
Your nearest Game Station is get on a fucking train, because you're gonna need it.
King's Lynn's like an hour and a half drive from here.
Yeah, well, actually in Norfolk, everything takes twice as long because you've got a 500% chance of getting stuck behind a tractor,
Oh yeah,
especially at this
my
time of year.
hour and a half was assuming you didn't catch any other cars at all at any point.
And that you didn't have to go anywhere near Elvedon, because then you're just fucked.
I don't know. Have you not been down the A11 recently? It's you go round Elvedon now. You don't go through it.
Dude, I come to Norwich once a year, and
Yeah,
that's really because
there's a
I feel
bypass.
obligated.
There's a dual carriageway bypass all the way around Elvedon. You don't go through Elvedon anymore.
Okay, fair
It's
enough.
so much better now.
It's always been the longest stretch of the trip whenever I've come down. Um,
Absolutely, but you'll be fine this next time you come down. You won't even believe it. It'll
well,
blow you away.
you're coming to me in January, so like I'm clear. I don't need to fucking bother.
Yeah, but
I'm
I
good
already
for a
know it's
while.
there.
Yeah, true.
I've been up and
Um,
down that lake stuff.
well, there was a topic somewhere. Yeah. Um, but no, I don't
All out, yeah.
trust them. Yeah, I don't trust them. They've disappointed a lot of people. They just, and again,
Have they said though that they're gonna fulfil all
no,
the orders, or have they just said? Have they not made a comment?
no. If your pre-order's cancelled at the moment, you're in fucking limbo. You've got no guarantee of actually getting that Pip-Boy edition. No guarantee of getting the Pip-Boy edition at all.
Wow, it's not
Yeah.
good, is it?
No, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the stores have actually, on the midnight releases and that, been selling other people's pre-ordered Pip-Boy editions to people who were just there on the night and had cash in their hand.
Yeah, probably right. And then on the other hand, you can probably get them on eBay for about £200.
Oh God, that just takes me back to the Sonic Generations Collector's Edition. I paid $75 for it, and suddenly they
We have
were
a
all
look.
over eBay for $300-400.
eBay.
It's come back down again now. They're back down to about the 70 mark. But
Fallout.
you're looking up
Oh, sorry.
You're
You go.
looking up the Pip-Boy editions now, aren't you? The scalpers will be fucking loving this.
Oh yeah, I'm looking them up on eBay.
Oh yeah. Let me know what you find. I'm interested.
Fallout 4, PS4 edition, brand new, pre-order Pip-Boy UK version, £140.
Arseholes. There was someone on one of the Facebook groups I'm a member of saying that they've got the game and they don't want the Pip-Boy anymore, so they're selling just the Pip-Boy, and they want 100 for just the Pip-Boy on its own. No game. Yeah, it's insane for a lump of
Worthless without the
plastic that
game.
does exactly right.
I didn't even understand how it was worth £60 to start with.
Is that what they were charging for it to start with? Was it
Well, no,
60?
because I mean, the game is. You can assume the game would be £40 on its own, but the bundle was £100, wasn't
44.99.
it?
Let's go
Well, whatever,
44.99.
close enough.
Yeah,
The bundle was about £100, wasn't it, with the Pip-Boy?
yeah. So the Pip-Boy's
So it's
got to
about
be
50 £60 they were charging just for that heap of plastic.
£55 and a penny, basically.
Yeah, which I thought was a staggering amount of money to begin with. But then I suppose if you like something enough, and they know how to hype you up enough about it.
To be fair, every time I go to MCM, like go past the Bandai Namco stand, and they've always got these gorgeous Dragon Ball statues and figurines and shit, and I have to have so much self control to go. You do not need it. You do not need it. You do not need it.
See, I have the opposite effect when I see something like that. I'll look at it like I'll go and see if I see a figure of something cool, like the very rare occasion I will go to something like that.
Yeah.
I'll see a figure and I go, wow, that's pretty cool, and then I'll look at the price tag and go, it's not that cool. I can never justify the money for something like that, especially for something that's just going to stand there and I can't do anything with.
I don't know.
That's just personal preference for me. Obviously, everyone's different, but I
Like,
can never justify it for myself.
well, let's look again at because I still think the Sonic Generations Collector's Edition is the best Collector's Edition I've ever put money down for. For 75, I got a hardcover art book, a history of DVD, a music compilation CD, an individually numbered gold ring, which isn't real gold, yeah, but still, and a gorgeous, huge-ass statue of classic and modern Sonic. The Casino Night DLC, which is still the only way to get that DLC on console, plus a holographic sleeve for the game. For 75.
Yeah, it's not bad, really. But that's fair enough for you, because you're obviously a big Sonic fan. I've never really been into anything enough to warrant spending that amount of money.
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying to
really
think
don't
of
get
any.
attached to things, do you?
No, I don't know why, and I don't know why, because it's not like I don't enjoy stuff, because I do
Mm.
enjoy things, but I just never enough
You
to
see,
warrant buying like a £200 figure.
whereas when I fall in love with a franchise or a series, I fall hard. Like,
I looked for Sonic Generations figure on eBay while we were just talking, and there's I haven't found your particular one, but there are some pretty cool little key rings on here.
Save it for Western Supersonic.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
I actually bought, when I was there last year, I bought one of my work colleagues one of those pens. I don't know if you saw them. It was a Sonic pen that was like where you tipped it and Robotnik and Sonic would move backwards and forwards in the liquid. She still uses it. She still has it on her desk and still uses it to this day, nearly a year later. So I'm proud of that.
Oh, you'll get. I think you pledged enough to get the pin badge this year. You get like
I
a
don't
Chaos
know if I
Emerald pin
did.
badge.
I get emails about it every so often. I got an email. I saw a Facebook thing about you the other day being
About
on there.
me?
Your little announcement.
Oh, I got announced.
Yeah, you did. I'll try and find it.
Oh, okay. Send it
That
to
was
me
pretty funny.
after. Don't send it to me now. We'll share it on the BGB Facebook page as well.
There it is. We'd
You've
like
got
to
the
welcome
announcement.
back Sam Webster.
Hey!
A little picture of you as well.
Oh god, what picture did they use?
The
You're
one
gonna
with
have to
you
show me now.
drawing on your tablet.
Oh, that's a really old picture. I don't look
Hang
like
on.
that anymore. I've got like another 30 lines across my forehead since then from stress.
I've sent you the link. You scroll down to the 22nd of October.
Okay, you've just linked me to
Yeah,
that
that's it.
page instead of the post. Yeah, thanks for that.
I couldn't be bothered to link the post.
Okay, fine. 22nd of October, that was a fucking while ago. There we go. Hey!
Weeks
Oh.
ago.
Yeah, Richie Savage likes us. Yeah,
Yeah, I liked it the day it went up.
nice. But, no, so, game, Fallout 4, they fucked it up. I'm not
We
gonna
did.
be,
Fuck 'em.
yeah, I'm not gonna be buying it anytime soon. I've got the console, but it's, all the reviews have come out, and it's basically, did you play Fallout 3? Yeah. Did you play Fallout New Vegas? Yeah. Well, it's basically those, but more of it. And you can create your own towns now. Oh, okay. I'm not particularly itching for it. It's not filling a gap. It's
See, I did my best not to get into the hype of this. There was so much hype around Fallout 4, as I'm sure you know, and everyone who's listening to this knows. It was probably the most hyped game since GTA 5.
the developers actually wrote everybody a sick note for this game.
Yeah, well, you say that. Chaz, who I mentioned before, who we've had on here, took the day off today to play it.
Now,
Took the day off
holiday
work to
or
play it.
sickness?
Holiday. I wouldn't be telling you if it
Holiday.
was sickness.
Well, no, two of the guys at my work have booked off. I believe it's the 30th. They've booked it off for Star Wars Battlefront. Which,
Is that coming out that soon? I didn't realise it was coming out so soon.
yeah, that's how. It's either is it the 30th of November? Yeah, it wouldn't be the 30th of December. That would just be fucking
That'd be
stupid.
a silly day to release it.
Yeah, pretty sure it's the 30th of this month. I could be wrong.
I was
Someone will
watching
probably
a video
correct
of
me.
the Achievement Hunter guys playing a versus match on that the other day. It did look quite fun, but it did look a bit out of place seeing like all these stormtroopers and stuff running around, and then just Luke Skywalker in the middle of it.
Although, have you seen the video of Luke Skywalker? He like wrecks a bunch of people, then he starts running at this guy, and he's like shooting at him. It's not doing a damn thing, and suddenly an AT-AT Walker just crushes Luke below its foot as it goes past.
No, I haven't seen that, but I did see in the video, the Achievement Hunter video, there's a bit where one of them tries to jump on the foot of one of the AT-ATs, and it
Yeah,
just instantly kills him.
nice.
He lands on top of the foot, not under the foot, on top of the foot, and he just dies, just ragdolls out. I don't know if that's an intended effect or not, but it was
I
pretty fun.
think they might have got the collision box a little wonky there then.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah. So, where were we again? Oh
Kentucky.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm not gonna buy it anytime soon. It's like it's on that list of games I've given to Joe and said to her, "You buy me one of these games for Christmas, and I promise I will not buy any of the other games on the list in the meantime
I
because I
might put it
won't
on
know
my
which
Christmas
game."
list actually, but I'd probably get it for PC over anything. Mainly because I can't get it for the Xbox One or PS4 because
I
I
was
have
gonna
neither.
ask you, would this push you on your PS4, Xbox One purchase? But you're right, there's a PC version, so why would you?
No. And I watched a comparison video, and it looks like the PC version is as you'd expect, the most superior version out of all three of them.
And that's one that's gonna have mods and stuff as well.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good point. So how about the UK government saying we're all going to have fast internet by 2020?
Not a problem for me.
Well, there are a couple of things I find interesting about this. The first is that David Cameron defines fast internet as being 24 Mbps. Ofcom, which is our telecommunications regulator, don't define it as 24 Mbps. Do you know what they define it as?
I don't.
30. So, Cameron's trying to sell us short here, because his definition and Ofcom's definition, i.e. the definition that fucking matters, are different. The other thing is that, I said we had that town hall meeting a few weeks back now, where BT came and explained why we don't have fibre optic in this village yet. They said that their deadline to get everyone hooked up was March 2018. Okay? So I want to know at which point did it go from March 2018 to some point in 2020. What's really annoying is, the way the BBC News article and various other outlets put it was, oh yeah, this is really good. Our forward-thinking government are putting their fists out and saying, no, we need good internet for everybody. Internet's the future. Digital communications are the future. Let's make sure we have this by 2020, like it was a new initiative. Instead of reporting, these twats have just pushed the deadline back by 2 years. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really affect me too much because I've obviously already got internet, but it's not exactly a surprising thing that they're going back on it. Maybe, obviously something's happened behind the scenes. They've realised they can't meet that deadline. So rather than just sort of telling you all individually, they've just announced it in such a global way and just hoped everyone will just not really notice because it wasn't really a well-advertised story.
But instead of saying, we done fucked up, we got to push the date back, they're like, yeah, look at this glorious thing we're doing. You're going to have it by 2020. Isn't that great? And those in the know are saying, what happened to 2018?
It was one of these, like I said, it was one of these really under the carpet kind of things. I only noticed because I specifically look on the tech section of the BBC News website.
Oh,
If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't. If I hadn't done that, I never would have even known about it.
I think they're just being sly bastards, and they're trying to spin it to make themselves look good.
Yeah, that's what they've done. Well, they've made the announcement, but they've done it in such a way that some people will probably even never even notice that change if they were waiting for it.
It's sly, it's underhanded, it's evil, it's emblematic of how they've run the country since coming into power, really. They tell us one thing, then they do something else.
I didn't vote for them, just like to get that out there.
I unfortunately did.
Nah, see, I wasn't that stupid.
Well, at the time, they were the only ones who seemed to, A, recognise that there was a problem with how we were using money in the UK, and B, the only people who seemed to be prepared to do anything about it. However, since they've come in, the way they've behaved and gone about it has been absolutely fucking atrocious, to put it bluntly.
Yeah, that's a whole different podcast, that is.
Yeah, all I'll say is I'm embarrassed to have voted for them.
To be fair, so am I, but that's because I voted Lib Dem and they got like 4% of the vote or something like that.
Well,
that was a wasted vote, that was.
Then you feel glad you walked down to that school and put your slip in a ballot box.
I didn't walk, I drove, so it's fine.
Fuck the environment. Dude, no doubt your polling station was George White Middle School, which is literally around the corner from your house.
It wasn't. It was actually at one of the churches down the road on Silver Road. However, I drove
it's still on Silver Road. Your road directly connects to Silver Road.
I was on my way to Wyndham, in my defence. That's why I was going that way anyway. You
were just passing, so you figured,
exactly. It was just convenient for me.
Also, everyone can now figure out where in Norwich you live.
There's loads of roads off Silver Road. I'd be damn impressed if they can find me from that.
Yeah, but now they can just hone in on George White Middle School and be like, well, a fucker's got to be here somewhere.
Stand there and wait for me. See me eventually.
Yeah. I don't know. Has anyone seen your face? I don't think you've been on camera for any of the races or anything.
No, not yet. I'm sure that'll change one day.
Yeah. Get your face seen. Then they can stab you and know they got the right guy. Yeah. Bit morbid. But no, I'm a bit cheesed off, as you can imagine. However, we do seem to have been prioritised after kicking off enough, and we are supposed to get it in the summer, so we'll see if that comes to fruition or not.
Oh, that's good news. I didn't realise that.
Yeah, basically, they got to a point where they were like, okay, enough bitching and belly aching. We're going to put it in the summer. So we'll see if they actually keep to their word, because I still don't trust them. But yeah, it's
Well,
better
they've
than
already
what we
moved
had.
the goalposts, so I
How
won't
many
get too confident.
times? So, well, I don't think there's a whole lot we can really say other than I'm a pissy, moany old bastard.
But we didn't need to discuss this topic to know that. We knew
That's
that
true.
anyway.
Well, that's very true. I'm not even going to try and defend myself. Um, so we do have one piece of good news, and it's Konami related, so those two things rarely go together. A Metal Gear fan is getting a Metal Gear themed prosthetic limb. So he's an amputee. For those familiar with the DLR, the Docklands Light Railway in London, apparently he was it somehow got trapped on the rails and lost an arm and a leg. I'm not entirely sure how that happens, to be honest. This is a 25-year-old lad, so about our age, actually younger than us, which is scary.
That is terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're trying to make the arm in the same style as the arm that Snake has in the Metal Gear Solid 5 game. Um, Now, what's weird is some of the headlines I've seen are saying Konami are providing this, but when you read the actual article, it talks about the designer, it talks about the person getting the arm. At no point does it actually stipulate how Konami are providing this or what their involvement is. So for all we know, he could have just been like, hey, I'm getting a prosthetic, I would like it to look like Snake's, and they went, okay. Or they, could have offered it up and they could be paying for it. Their level of involvement, no one's saying anything about it, and I think if it was the latter, Konami would be shouting about it due to their negative publicity lately.
I was going to say, that's probably what I think it would be, if anything. It'd just be to try and rein back some of the negative PR they've had.
Yeah, because there's been a shit ton of it. I mean,
I would guess it was money. I would guess that's all they've
yeah.
really got to provide, and maybe the likeness, as you say, the right to be able to use it. But then, could you possibly stop someone getting a prosthetic arm modelled on something? Can you claim copyright on that?
Yes. That's your design. You've
Yeah, but it's not a real
crafted how
thing.
it looks.
It's not a real thing, is it? It's an animated thing.
Superman isn't real, but you try selling a Superman fucking t-shirt.
Oh yeah, well yes,
Without the...
selling it for yourself and making a profit is a bit different than wanting an arm.
Well, this person who's building a prosthetic arm for him isn't doing it for free.
I suppose.
It's. I know this is horrible. It's for medical reasons, but it's still a product.
Fair play, yeah, fair play.
I mean, on a related note, Disney recently gave a bunch of Disney and Marvel licenses to a prosthetics company that are developing prosthetics solely for kids. Now, on the one hand, it's horrible that there are kids that need prosthetics. What a world we
On the
live
one
in.
hand,
Oh,
that was
I
a
didn't
bad
even
taste.
catch that. I did not. I swear that was unintentional. I didn't even catch that. I can't even say on the other foot.
Shoes on the other foot? Oh no, it's not.
On the flip side of the coin, imagine being because I've said you can base your designs off Disney and Marvel properties for these prosthetics, and they've not charged them anything for it either, which is really cool. Imagine being like a kid, 9 years old, and like rocking up to school with a fucking Iron Man hand.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it's horrible that you had to lose your real hand to be in that position, but hey, if you're gonna have a
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd probably give up a hand to have something like that. That's probably in bad taste. I probably shouldn't say that.
That was terrible, Richie. It was awful.
I don't mean
It just, if I see you anywhere near a DLR station anytime soon, I'm gonna pull you the fuck back from the platform.
That'd be a really painful way to lose a limb.
Well, for that 25-year-old, that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair point.
Yeah. So no, it's I don't know. I would have thought Konami would have been shouting more about it. I mean, when fuck Konami is a popular hashtag on Twitter, it's kind
I
of.
suspect if they are involved in it, we'll probably see more of this once it's closer to being done.
Once they can actually show some videos of the guy using it, overlay some
Yeah,
footage from Phantom Pain, and
yeah, It'd be a
Yeah.
nice little marketing, nice little selling point for them for Metal Gear Solid 5.
It did make me think as well. I mean, surely, because this accident happened in 2012. So can you imagine being a Metal Gear fan all the way up to 2012, and then suddenly you can't play video games anymore because you've only got one arm?
I was going to say, how until now has he played any of the games? Has he played 5? Has he played 4?
Well, 4 would have been out at the time of his accident. So we can probably, I mean, if he's being called a Metal Gear super fan, we can probably assume he's played everything up to 4. But can you imagine, like, gaming as we do? I mean, it's a big part of both of our lives, gaming. It's one of our go-to hobbies. Can you imagine just you have an accident and that's it, no more gaming?
No, I can't, genuinely can't.
I mean, what
It'd be
must that
weird.
guy's backlog look like right now when he gets this arm?
Poor guy. He's just got like a backlog of games he can't play because he lost his hand.
Yeah, but when he gets this arm, can you imagine? He's like, I'm just gonna lock myself in this room for like a year and catch up on
He'll get accused of
everything.
like hacking all the time, won't he? Because he'll have like a bionic hand. It'd be like having a turbo controller.
Oh yeah, true. Like, just suddenly he can tap the trigger faster than any normal human could tap the trigger.
Won't be allowed to compete sort of professionally. That'll be for sure.
No, if he ever goes to a League of Legends tournament, he'll just get, you get out of here. Although, would that be discrimination?
Yeah, I
Because it's a
suppose it would,
disability.
but maybe so. But at the same time, he would have a competitive advantage because of it, wouldn't he?
An advantage because of a disability.
Yeah,
That's a weird. We are getting
it's a weird
closer and
concept, isn't it?
closer. We're getting closer and closer to Deus Ex Human Revolution being the actual world. Because in
Well,
that,
the lines are starting to blur.
what they talk about there, like people who are augmented and have these, fake arms and legs and that, competing in sports and whether they should be allowed to compete against organic humans who don't have any of that stuff. Because it does, as you say, give them an advantage. You wouldn't start a bar fight with him, would you?
No,
Can you
he'd
imagine
pick you
getting
up and throw you
cracked
through
around
the
the face
ceiling.
with that?
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't have any teeth left. This is probably all in bad taste now at this point. Um, but it's not the only good news story we have about someone who's been unfortunate and then essentially gotten something good on the back of it. So it was the Force for Daniel campaign. So this was a campaign that went viral across various pieces of social media. It was a 32-year-old who had terminal cancer and didn't have a whole lot of time to live. Big Star Wars fan, sadly wasn't going to live to the opening night of Episode 7. So huge social media campaign. Mark Hamill got behind it. Several other key figures from Star Wars got
Carrie
behind
Fisher did
this.
as well, didn't she?
Yeah, Princess Leia. Um, the guy who's playing the lead in Episode 7, I've forgotten his
I,
name
I couldn't
entirely.
tell you his name.
No. Um, I will hand over my geek card in a moment for failing that, but
It's alright, it's not out yet.
he got behind it as well, and they showed him an unfinished edit. Basically, it's like not it's the full film, but it's not the version people will see at the cinema because they're still doing stuff to it, which is fair enough. So he got a private viewing in his house of Episode 7 in its current state, and then sadly passed away a few days after the viewing.
It's like he knew, isn't it? I know it sounds really morbid. I'm not trying to make a joke out of it, but it almost seems like his body knew, didn't it? Like he was just holding out just for that one thing.
The thing is, with medicine, there's a lot of links between psychology and biology. The mind and the body, and the intrinsic links between them. People have hung on for insane amounts of time just through force of sheer willpower. Um, and then once they've achieved whatever they wanted to achieve, you see it. There's a long history of it. They just drop the
Yeah, you always
second.
hear stories about it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, it was an elderly couple in America famously said that they always wanted to go together, and within a couple of days of each other, um, just gone. It was something like he passed away in her arms, and then while she was still cuddling him, shortly after he'd passed, they suddenly noticed her eyes were shut and she wasn't breathing. So it was literally he died in her arms, and then while she was still holding him, she died.
It's like a film, isn't it? It's like something you read in a film. You won't believe things like that happen in real life.
But it does,
It's crazy.
surprisingly often. It's I mean, my to give a personal example, I have no memory of it because of my age, obviously. But when my mother was pregnant with me, my dad's mum, my grandma on that side, she was, supposed to have gone already. And apparently she told my dad she wanted to hang on to meet me. Apparently I was born, she met me the once, gave me a cuddle, and then it wasn't long after that she gave out.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can. Oh, it happens a lot. You hear a lot of couples, die very close to each other. Animals, you see it all the time as well.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
This was such a nice story. I mean, it's not related to gaming, so really
Mm.
there's no need for us to talk about it, but it's such a nice story because
It's nerd
you, you,
fandom.
you
It's
see things like this happen all the time. You always see people saying, you always see like dying wishes and stuff like that. People saying, "I just want to do this before I die," etc., etc.
mm,
But it's so nice to see it actually happen. For
yeah,
like not die, obviously. I don't mean that bit,
no.
but so nice that he got to see it just days before he died. Like imagine the feeling of knowing that this might be the last thing. Well, probably is the last film he ever saw.
Yeah, but on the other hand, that's part of a trilogy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the only thing you'd be pissed off about, wouldn't you? That you'll
Dude's
never ever
never
know.
seeing 8 and 9. It's...
Like, there's probably a massive cliffhanger at the end of seven, and he's never
Oh
going
yeah.
to know what happens next.
I guess that depends if you believe in any other life beyond this, which personally I don't. I think you're here for what you're here for, and then you're gone. Um, but I guess like if his wife or anything like that believes in an afterlife, she'll be like, well, he'll see it from up there, down there. I don't know. I'm not sure how that
Not
works.
not to be distasteful. If you were going to take that argument, he would have seen seven anyway.
Yeah, that's
You could see
true.
it from up above. So
Yeah, but that's an if, but, and a maybe. At least now they know for definite he saw it.
very true, very true.
Yeah. Um, we get weird. I think we do need a third person moderating us sometimes.
I think a third person normalizes us.
Yeah, we just venture into creepy. But no, I don't know.
I think it
It's
was worth bringing up because it is
yeah,
such a nice story.
it's it is still nerd fandom. It's related. It's
Yeah,
I don't think you can be into the stuff we're into and not have a fondness for Star Wars.
yeah, and it was really good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably J.J. Abrams' decision, and for him to go with it for something as
Yeah.
big as Star Wars, he could have easily said no because of obviously the scale
Oh, the
of it.
potential for that to leak.
Like
Yeah.
he could have so easily just gone online and spoiled the whole film. I mean, he
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of time to do it. Don't get me wrong, but he could have done it.
Oh,
But he didn't.
absolutely.
So
No.
it was a hell of a risk, but I'm glad it's one they took.
Yeah. It's weird actually how long franchises go on for. Like, remember, this is going back weeks now, but during one of the questions of the week, I said a franchise that you'd like to see made into a game, and I brought up Negama, a manga I'm reading.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the final volume of that turned up in the post this week, volume 38, and this is a series that I started reading when I was in college. Uh, I remember I was actually, you know, the friend who went on to do YouTube for a living that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was when I was in college hanging out with her that I started reading, like volumes 1 and 2 were just out, and I started reading it. And we're now pretty much spot on 10 years later, and I've got the final volume in my hand.
Yeah, it's amazing how consistent it is. It's amazing that you managed to keep with it that long. I don't think I've ever stuck with anything that long.
Imagine if Lost had like 10 fucking seasons.
Oh, I'd probably still be watching that, to be fair. That's
I
one
think
thing I can do is watch TV series all the way through.
the difference between Negama and Lost, Negama knew where it was fucking going before it started.
Oh, don't get me started on this.
Like, they actually figured out what the ending was. But I might get a little emotional reading the final one, because it's like when I finished Full Metal Alchemist, that was one where I was like, shit, what am I going to read now?
Yeah, that's the Netflix effect almost, isn't it? That you finish something, you go, well, I don't know what to do with my life now.
Bakuman was the same thing.
Same thing with, I suppose, a series of video games as well. When a series of a video game comes to an end.
Well, Metal Gear Solid, apparently Metal Gear Solid 5, that's it for Kojima's involvement. If there are any more Metal Gears, they won't be Kojima's, which to me means they won't be Metal Gears. So it's sort of weird that they went out on the one that they have. It's
Yeah.
yeah, don't know how I feel
I
about
think
them
a
now.
lot of it was force of hand, though, wasn't it? Obviously, there was a lot of political stuff that forced that decision.
Yeah, because I think about Tomb Raider has 3 timelines and 3 canons with 3 different Lara Crofts now. There's the PlayStation era that we grew up with, up to Angel of Darkness. That's everything from Tomb Raider 1 through Angel of Darkness. Then the Legend, Anniversary, Underworld, they're a separate canon. And then you've got the reboot, the 2013 reboot, and the newly released Rise of the Tomb Raider. They belong to their own canon, so we're now on our 3rd iteration of Lara Croft.
Have you played any of the new Tomb Raider games?
I played the 2013 reboot.
See, I haven't. I keep thinking about maybe picking it up sometime, but I never have.
It's really weird.
It
If you've
doesn't look
grown
like
up,
Tomb Raider in a way.
I know what you mean. And for me, I played all the original Tomb Raiders growing up, and then I played the Uncharted trilogy as it came out on PS3.
Yeah.
And I was noticing how much Uncharted was borrowing from the Tomb Raider formula. Um,
Yeah.
so then I played, obviously, the 2013 reboot, and Tomb Raider was borrowing heavily from Uncharted.
It's all come full circle.
Yeah, it was just sort of weird to see Uncharted clearly influenced by Tomb Raider, and then Tomb Raider picking up all the things Uncharted did right and running with it.
Yeah.
It really doesn't feel like Tomb Raider, mate. I've got to be honest.
It's a
It's
shame.
an enjoyable game. But I still don't think. Like, did you get a chance to play Tomb Raider Anniversary?
Yes, that I have played.
Right. Were you with me when I said? I mean, I did a whole bloody video on it. In how much I hate Anniversary compared to the original.
I wouldn't go as far as to say I hated it, but it wasn't a patch on the original by any means. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it as a game, but it wasn't Tomb Raider.
and I can boot up the original Tomb Raider and still get freaked the fuck out by those pulsing walls in Atlantis.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing just looks alien, like it doesn't belong, and you can
Oh
actually
yeah.
believe that you're the
Yeah.
first person to go there. I think that the restrictions they had, how everything was essentially a block, and it's all based on a grid system. That's what those limitations gave it that unique architecture and that unique feel.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed. The limitations made it. It's a lot. Well, that's the same feeling with a lot of older games, isn't it? Really, like
it was
things
just
like Croc and things like that with the tank controls. They wouldn't be the
oh
same if
yeah,
they wouldn't be the same. Like, I'm not a biggest fan of tank controls as you are by any
no,
stretch, but I still really enjoy going back and playing Croc. We talked about it earlier.
oh
It's one
yeah.
of my favorite games. So yeah, I quite enjoy tank controls as well. So it's
So
weird
happy to
how
pick that up
technical
at MCM.
limitations. So weird how technical limitations can make a game not great, I suppose,
Hmm.
but stand out.
Well, we're going on a little bit of an undeclared topic, I guess, but it's I've always found that the most inventive games are the games where you have the restrictions, like
Yeah,
people being told you cannot do this, this is not possible, and people going, well, even if it's not going to be that thing, for all intents and purposes, it's going to look like it's doing that thing at the very least.
yeah,
Um, and like, if I go back to my RPG Maker 2003 days, you cannot calculate an angle or make Pong in RPG Maker 2003. Someone fucking did it. Someone turned around and went, bullshit, here you go.
never doubt people's ability to be stubborn.
Yeah, exactly. You give someone limitations, and they will find a way to work around it to do what they want to do.
It's human
Now,
nature.
yeah, now we've got all the tools in the fucking world, hardly any restrictions. Make any game you want, and we keep turning out the same old uninspired shit.
Yeah, it's easy money these days.
I'm serious though. We just, given everything we want in terms of creation tools, and we're like, yeah, well, we'll put the camera over the shoulder. It can be third person. I'll run around a bit, maybe jump. I don't know. Rant over, I guess. But
Yeah, I can't remember what we were talking about now.
no, I really can't. Um, so what's on here? Um, yes, Grand Theft Auto mods. So talking about having all the tools in the world would have been a
Now,
nice segue.
this topic I didn't actually get to read about. This is the one I didn't read about, so you're going to have to clue me in on this, or I'm going to try and read the article as you talk.
Okay. So there were two separate mods that were looking to provide an alternative Grand Theft Auto Online
Oh,
experience.
I did already know about this. I read about this at lunchtime. Yeah, I do know
Yeah.
this.
So, namely, they were looking to give you a version of online where you could use your mods in an online environment and not get permabanned. Because if you take mods into online GTA as it is, then Banhammer will fall on you. And on the one hand, I can get it because it would unbalance the game if you could take your Hulkbuster armor with all its special moves into the online. Fine. But things like the field of view mods, where more powerful PCs can render more of the land at the same time, things like improved texture mods, because the textures can be fucking awful in places on that game. Things like that, which don't make any changes to the gameplay. They just change the look of it and the graphical capabilities. I don't see why those can't be taken online.
See, I'm in no way a video game developer, so I don't have maybe the knowledge needed to know this,
Mm.
but surely with something like this, it's hard for you to generate a system which will know the difference between something cosmetic and something that changes the actual game itself.
Yeah,
Surely you just have to be a matter of you either have none or everything. You
I
can't really
think
have a system that will correctly identify whether or not that mod you've just installed will just change the texture of a car or will give you an unfair advantage.
I
Is that
think
not
I'm
what it is?
qualified to say that you have a valid point.
Good. Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
to hear that.
Actually distinguishing between, is this a gameplay mod? Is this just a look and feel mod? Um, yeah. Okay, it's going to be hard to distinguish between those. You could even argue that something that improves the field of view and loads more of the city at the same time could give someone a disadvantage in that they might be able to see a car or a weapon or a player that they wouldn't otherwise be able to see because it wouldn't have loaded.
The biggest thing about this as well is that this really highlights just how much value they've put on GTA Online.
Yeah.
Like
And
this hasn't been a problem up until now. Like this mod has been in
mm,
development basically since GTA 5 came out.
yeah,
Like they've been theorizing about it. They were trying to do it like, originally on the Xbox 360 and stuff, but obviously didn't work too well. As soon as the PC version hit, no surprise that this turned up straight away.
mm.
Some of my fondest memories actually are of playing the San Andreas multiplayer, which does still exist.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah. I
it's
remember dicking around in
fantastic.
that mod.
You can
It's
play so
amazing.
many custom servers, and some of them are just absolutely brilliant. The amount of detail that goes into some of them, like there's whole stunt maps and there's role playing maps.
Mm.
Some of it is just absolutely staggering. Considering they don't make any money off it, well, they
You
probably do.
still need
Probably
to
have
get on.
donations.
You need to get the PC version of Just Cause 2 and play some of the multiplayer for that with me and Terry sometime.
Yeah, I need to. It goes on sale all the time, so I'll have to keep an eye out on it.
Oh, it's insane. It's amazing. It feels like the GTA San Andreas Online mod, only legitimized, um,
Fantastic.
which is awesome.
It's making me
I
want to play it. I wonder if I've still got it installed. Maybe look. I have as well. San Andreas multiplayer.
I haven't got it installed. I can tell you that much. But no, I do. I enjoy Grand Theft Auto Online in its current form. So what they have essentially said to these mods was that they were trying to provide an alternative service to the official service, And they didn't like that. They also felt that some of the stuff in the source code, even if it wasn't intended for piracy purposes, could be used for the purposes of pirating the game. Now, the modders are staunchly defending that this is not a piracy mod. It would require a legitimately purchased copy of the game to run, and that they do not intend to take any sales away from Rockstar in any way, shape, or form.
But at the same time, they did take it down pretty post-haste, so there must have been something in that letter they received or the telephone call they had that really shit them up.
Well, this is how they went about it. According to the Reddit post from one of the modders, there was a knock at the door, and there were 2 private investigators at the door. They handed them a mobile phone. The mobile phone rang, and it was an unidentified person telling them that they're to stop what they're doing. They're to stop what they're doing right now. That they had checked their legal position, and they were very confident that they could press charges if they wanted to. Just sort of a very bully boy tactic.
The article did say as well that this isn't a result of Rockstar, it's a result of Take-Two, didn't they?
Yes,
they'd
Take-Two
spoken to
Interactive.
Rockstar about it in the early days, and Rockstar gave them some good feedback about it. They probably weren't happy about it, but they probably took the approach of, look, we're not going to stop this, so we might as well try and give them some sort of advice. And they probably did help them a little bit with it in a way. But apparently Take-Two have put the hammer down on it because they're the ones really who make the money at the end of the day.
You
They
see,
make
I
the
get
decisions.
confused. There are so many people involved now. You've got... Obviously, it was originally DMA Design, then Take-Two, then Rockstar. Then you've also got Rockstar North, just to confuse things.
I think Take-Two own Rockstar, don't they? Isn't that how it works?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. Pretty sure
I just
they're
get
the
confused.
parent company.
Right. Okay.
That might not be right. Don't take that as fact, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
I think we can all agree that we're fucking confused by it.
Yeah, it's a shame, but to be honest, I don't think this is the last we'll see of it.
Yeah.
Maybe even if it takes to be maybe a point when GTA Online starts to die out, someone will reactivate it and it'll happen. San Andreas Multiplayer was too good for them not to bring it back.
True. By the way, I just read while you were saying that the fan question of the week.
Have we even got any? I looked for them and I didn't see any.
We do. We have one from Quickswear.
Oh.
Posted 4 days ago. So he asks 2 questions, and the first one we've already answered. With Fallout 4 coming out very soon, are you guys prepping for it, or are you not interested?
I am so interested, but I'm not prepped for it. I want it. I do want it. I will get it, but just not at this point in time.
I'm prepped for it. I'm not that interested. If it's the game that Joanna buys me for Christmas, hooray, I will play the shit out of it. If it's not, oh well, I'll wait until it goes down in price and then pick it up.
See, I'll get it, and I think I'll really enjoy it, but I don't have the hype train that everyone else has had. Definitely not.
I just don't know if I have the time for it. It's quite a time-demanding game. It's quite,
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I need more quick wins with given the kids and everything else. By the time I come home from work.
I've got such a short attention span that I drop in and out of stuff all the time. That's why I like Isaac. I can drop in and out of a run midway through.
That won't help you when it comes to a game like Fallout.
No, that's the problem, because I'll just,
This is probably why you never got very far in Shenmue.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I tried playing New Vegas a few times. I've got pretty far in it, but then for some reason I put it down. Maybe another game came out that I really wanted or something like that, and I just never picked it up. And then I tried to pick it up again, and it's one of those things that I had no idea what I was doing. I have no idea where I'm going, and because of that, I don't want to carry on.
No, you just
I can't be bothered to start again at the same time.
You try looking at your quest log, it's like, oh shit, I've got no fucking idea.
That's the problem with a game like that.
We can answer question 2. What's your opinion on Steam machines? That we can answer.
Yeah.
Bluntly, I don't know who they're aiming them at.
No.
Because if you like to play with a controller on a console, then you probably have a PS4 or an Xbox One. And if you're into PC gaming, then you probably already have a high-end PC. I just don't see... Like, I see the two ends of the spectrum, which are but each perfectly well catered for, and then I see the Steam machine trying to sit in the middle. And I'm just there like, who are you for? Who actually wants you?
There's plenty of Valve fanboys out there that probably bought it or will buy it, I should say.
Just
For me, though,
surprise Gabe.
yeah, for me, it's not something I'll be interested in. If I want to plug my PC into the computer, I can do because my TV is right behind me and
If
my
you want to plug
HDMI
your
cable.
PC into your computer.
Sorry. Try again. I'll try that again. Let's start the podcast again, shall we? If I
Wipe
wanted
it
to
all
connect
back.
my computer to my TV,
There
my
you
television, I could because my TV is right behind me. My PC is based in my living room already. I don't need another one. So,
Well, isn't this exactly what big picture mode is for?
yeah, which I've also never used.
Yeah.
I keep looking at it, and I opened it up once, and I was just like, "Ooh, I don't know what this is," so I quit out of it. That was
sounds
my
like you.
experience with big picture mode, and it didn't get me anything. It didn't get me anything I couldn't already do with the mouse. So,
No, it's like, I've got a wireless Xbox 360 controller. I can hook my PC up to my TV in the living room. I have done before. I don't need a Steam machine. It's I just don't need it. I don't know
no,
what.
nor do I. Nor do I.
No, I don't know how anyone can justify buying one. And even if you do just want, something simple where you don't have to worry about the operating system and everything else, get a fucking console. you know?
That's what you keep saying to me.
Yeah, get a fucking console, Richard. Get a
I really,
PlayStation 4.
I know. I really should. I
I
really should.
keep sending you bundles as well.
Yeah, but I don't have the money for the bundles. That's the problem. If I had the money, I'd already have one.
That £300 one the other day. Like
That
literally,
was a really big deal.
I sent you that link. You replied 5 minutes later, and it was already out of stock.
Yeah, people had snapped that up.
Oh, that just went. That was crazy. You gonna try any Black Friday deals for one, or
It's
you
not a
gonna?
bad idea, actually. That is coming up, and Amazon do pretty good stuff then. So yeah, good thinking. I'll keep my eye on that.
Apparently,
I
Asda are shunning Black Friday this year.
They are. I get paid about a week before that, so I have to keep some money aside.
Oh,
It
okay.
just it just means a few people aren't going to get Christmas presents this year.
Just make sure Sophie's one of the ones who gets something.
Oh yeah, but what do you get someone when their birthday was a month before?
Oh,
Same
I know
problem
it's a
every
pig,
year.
isn't it? Well, just move Christmas; it'll be fine.
Just cancel Christmas. Forget it.
Um, Speaking of, actually, you bringing me anything in January?
What, Christmas present?
It'd be a bit late, but sure.
I don't know. What do you want?
I don't know.
Have a think. Well, I'll tell you what. You've got an Amazon wish list somewhere. I'll just look on there.
I do have an Amazon wish list. This is true.
I don't know where it is, but I'll find it.
I'll link you to it.
I'm sure
In the
you'll send it to.
meantime, if you set one up and send it to me for yourself,
All right.
yeah, we'll do a swap.
Sounds good.
We'll swap wish lists and we'll.
Okay.
Are we setting a budget for this?
Probably.
Yeah, like tenner.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, all right.
Cool.
And now I need to actually add something to my wish list that's tenner or less.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'll have to start a wish list. I don't think I've ever used the wish list feature, so I'll give it a go.
No, I do. It's I had the Negamas on there, the final volumes for a couple of weeks, and I went in there just to make sure my wish list was up to date for Christmas because my mother and stuff they all check it. Because
It's
if
a good
someone
idea.
buys something from my wish list, it then disappears from the wish list so that somebody else doesn't buy the same thing.
That's a clever feature.
Yeah, it's a really great feature. So every year, when like parents, aunts, uncles, friends, etc., say, "What do you want?" I just link them to that, and it just saves any. I hate when people go off list. That really pisses me off.
That's pretty greedy of you to say. At least they've gone to the effort of getting you something.
No, 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 no. I don't like surprises, but people like surprising me. So by having a list, I compromise. I say, you still get to surprise me because I don't know what it is, but I get to know that it's on list.
You do kind of know what you're going to get though, because it disappears off the wish list.
Yeah, but when like 14 different things disappear, it doesn't tell me what's disappeared off the wish list.
Yeah, but you can still tell by looking at it.
Yeah, but I would have to look at it.
All right.
This is the thing, I would have to look, and I would have to remember everything that's on there, and the size that list is, there's no fucking way. There's like 75 things on there right now.
Yeah, to be fair, I wouldn't remember anything I'd put on mine either.
No. So when someone says, I've gone off list, I was like, I made every single fucking concession I could for you. You selfish piece of shit. How dare you?
Calling people selfish for buying you presents.
Yeah, I know. I get legitimately angry about it. I'm like,
How
how dare
ironic.
you? How very dare you? And this is why people don't buy me things.
No, you're gonna be damn lucky if you. I'm not gonna buy you a surprise. That's for sure. Not anymore. You just throw it back in my face.
I know, like, I trust Joanna to go off list.
Go, this wasn't on my list. Throw it in the bin.
Oh god, knowing you're gonna turn up with like a Sonic the Hedgehog dildo or something.
If they do them, I will get you one. Hang on, Google.
Oh god, don't Google
Sonic
that.
the
You
Hedgehog.
don't want that on your list.
I don't want that in my search history. Let's hope Sophie doesn't check my search history.
You know how to delete your search history though, so it's fine. I showed Joe, I told her I was going to get her this necklace, and what it was it's like a hammer bead perler sprite of Sonic taking damage in the middle. And then, like, hung on strings all around the edge are all these little gold rings.
Oh,
So
I
the
saw the picture
necklace
of that.
looks like he's taken damage.
Yeah, I saw your picture of that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was inventive.
I
I
haven't
did like
found
it.
a Sonic the Hedgehog dildo, but someone has drawn a picture of Sonic with dicks for ears, which I don't really understand. Supersonic dildo ears, it's called.
We, uh, we have no Terry, and yet we ventured so far into the worst kind of porn.
I think I'll send it to you.
Don't send it to... I'm not looking at it.
You'll look at it at some point.
I'm not looking at it.
It's on Urban Dictionary, Sonic dildo. A dildo so powerful it creates a sonic boom inside of the woman/male's body. That brings a new definition to sonic boom, doesn't it?
Could they not have just said...
That changes the song entirely.
Sonic boom, Sonic boom. Oh god, it really does. Yeah, Sonic keeps you running faster.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. Faster, faster, faster. Oh, that's one thing I did play this week, actually. Sonic
Dildo.
Adventure 2. I've got it on PSN, have had for ages, and obviously my Dreamcast is knackered, so I played the PSN version. Apparently I didn't even have a save file on the PSN version before this week. So.
Is that the one with the Chow Garden?
Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 both have Chow Gardens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never owned either of them. I have played Sonic Adventure, both of them, in fact, in a small amount, but I never owned either of them.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, you can get them on Steam fairly cheaply.
Oh, can you? Cool.
Yeah, they keep going down to like £3.20, and occasionally they do like a Sonic Legacy bundle, which is every Sonic game on Steam, and they usually charge like 15 quid or something for it. That price will probably go up now because Sonic Lost World is out, and that retails at $19.99. So even if they put that at half price and then put it in the bundle's probably going to go up to like 25. But
Sonic Adventure DX is $5.59.
there you go, that's fairly cheap. But
It's
yeah, so, I think that about wraps us for the podcast this week, though.
Oh shit, has it really been that long already?
Yeah, well, we've gone through all the topics, we've answered all the fan questions, and according to my timer, we're on about an hour and 24 minutes.
Wow, I didn't even realise. That's flown by.
You must have really enjoyed it.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And, Terry, Pete, don't take that to mean anything, okay?
No, I think it's because I spoke so much more this week because I had to. That's what's made the time go quicker.
Yeah. Well, you do talk a lot more on your own, which is interesting. I don't know. You said obviously last week you couldn't hear me, but it is interesting how much more talkative you are one-on-one.
I just don't like to talk over other people. Like I've said to you before, I haven't said it on the podcast, but I like listening to other people talk. I think I did say it on the podcast last week,
You
actually.
did, yeah.
I
You've
like
said a
listening.
couple of times, I love listening. I feel
I
like I'm
do.
getting to listen to it early. This is
Yeah,
like early access for
I
me.
like listening to you guys talk. It's quite interesting because you guys know much more about the back end of games like I do than I do. You all know more about the developers and all this sort of stuff, and you all have
And
such
yet
a
you're
more
learning
vast.
to program.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you all have such a more vast knowledge of the gaming industry as a whole compared to I do. So it's always really interesting to listen, which is why I get wrapped up and forget to say anything.
Alright, well, just remember to say things.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. At any rate, thank you all for joining us this week. Obviously, same time, same channel next week. Uh, Give us your fan questions.
Yeah, there
If
wasn't
you,
enough of those this week.
yeah, I don't know where Lupasillo and Kasharo guy were.
They better still be listening.
We will find you. Uh, but yeah, that's all I've got to say. Richie, anything you want to say to the folks before we go?
Thanks for listening, as always.